Good morning, everybody. This is Joey Chandler with Funk to Flow Training and the UR videos, and welcome to another installment of my Next Step interviews. This is where I'm interviewing awesome people and asking them about the next steps that they see people can take in the various areas of expertise. We do these Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 9:30 in the morning every day. And we also have all the videos on Facebook and the website. So please take a look at those. If you are watching this on the replay, please like us, share it, and also if you have any questions, post it in here, and our interviewers can always get back to you if you have about the questions that you have. So today I'm super excited because I have a gentleman here who, honestly, like yesterday's guest, is just someone that when he talks, you just kind of want to listen to. He just has a perspective and an experience and a view of life that is just interesting. And his business is creating legacies for business and really setting up your business in such a way that it's going to last past your retirement, honestly, and obviously past even your own lives. And this is really crucial for families, or people that have family businesses, or people who want to grow your business into a family business. You want to just set up the structures to have it so it works. And as he says, this is not about today's problems, but this is about a long-term solution. Well, obviously we all got problems today. I think it does help to take a longer perspective of our lives, of our business, so that we can do what is important today and move forward. And so I want to introduce you to Don Mccrae. He is a good friend, somebody we've talked to a bunch of times, and I'm really excited to have him here. So thank you, Don, for being here. And why don't you tell a little bit about yourself? How did you get into this business? Because it's unique. You don't hear it very often.
Good morning, Joey. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. This is something that is an outgrowth of the business consulting that I've been doing in one form or another for the past. I've been really blessed in my life in that I've had multiple careers, and they all seem to complement each other. I've been doing business consulting as in both the computer industry with custom solutions, in the executive education industry, and my own consulting with small business. And this is an outgrowth of that. One of the things I observed with one of the major global corporations I worked with is that it had been around for over 150 years. And they started as a grommet manufacturer, and now we're selling to all of the automotive manufacturers in the world and all of the aircraft manufacturers in the world. And it really piqued my interest in how does a company make those kinds of changes over that long a period of its life. So that's one side, but the other side of it is that it's been a passion of mine to see small business survive. I worked with the Small Business Development Center in Orange County before I moved up here for 18 years and saw the high failure rate, and particularly the failure rate that can occur with family businesses when they transfer to the next generation. So all of that's come together in what's now an assessment that really looks at all those factors that if they are in place can make sure the business thrives for decades.
Awesome. And how do you work with a company, or kind of like what's your starting point? Because obviously you take a really long perspective, and there's probably about 1 million places to start. But how do you get started with a company, or a small business person?
Sure. The first thing is for the two of us to sit down for 30 to 45 minutes, free consultation, no cost, to really talk about what they see as their long-range plan for their business, where they see that business going. Is their plan to sell it for their retirement, or is it to transfer it to the next generation? So it's getting an understanding of that, and then looking at what are the pieces that are in place right now that can help them get there. And if there's some uncertainty in some of that, or some additional clarity needed in what that legacy is going to be, then that's something that the legacy affirmation review process that I've developed can help them with. That process starts with that consultation. The next step would be if it's something that we both agree can add value to their business, then the next step would be to really take a look at endpoints and then identify what are all the critical success factors that have to be addressed to get the business to really make sure that that business reaches that endpoint. There are three.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's awesome. I'm curious. After you've worked with people, what do you see as like the impact on their immediate business by taking this longer term approach? Like if I work with you, like how do I change, or how have you seen your people kind of change and benefit by taking this long term approach? Because so much of today is now. What does that provide? Do you say?
Well, it's obviously, particularly with a small business, it's really important to deal with today's issues and tomorrow's issues. But on the other hand, if you're building a business that you really do want to last for decades, then that may change how you treat your employees, the kind of ways in which you develop your employees, the thought that you give into the assets that you acquire. That you may make a different choice if you realize and realize that asset is something that you're going to need for a very long time to support your business. It may change the relationships you develop with your suppliers, for example, or with your customers. So there are just a variety of things that are truly important for the long term that can impact the kinds of decisions that you make today and tomorrow.
And do you find that puts additional, being a small business, there's always stress, right? And probably in any business, there's always stress. But do you find it puts extra stress on people, or do you find it frees them up by giving them that longer term approach?
Well, it ought to help sleep better at night, help them sleep better at night. If they really are passionate about that business and the success of that business, then to know that you have put in place, for example, a customer loyalty program that builds long-term relationships with your customers, but also ensures that you're on top of the changing needs of your customers. That, for example, has got to give you more peace of mind, I would think, than not knowing where your next customer is going to come from. There's a lot of data that shows that retaining a satisfied customer is much more profitable than having to continually replace customers with new customers. So something like that actually can impact the kind of effort that you put into your business today and how you feel about your business and its long-term prospects.
Nice. Yeah, I know. I've been working on putting in infrastructure, essentially. Like things may not happen this month right away, but just putting in, baby steps, things that I can build upon in each month, and that's really been helping me grow.
Sure. Let me give you a quick example. I ran into a couple this past summer. Didn't have much time with them. It was just a random encounter. They have a retail clothing business in the Midwest. And the lady said that at the last couple of trade shows that they've gone into, they've ran into their suppliers. So their suppliers are now starting to enter the retail business in competition with them. If they had developed different relationships with their suppliers, if they'd been closer to their suppliers, if they included their suppliers in their plans, et cetera, they either might have prevented that from happening, or they might have had an early warning that this was going to happen, instead of being caught by surprise in a trade show when the suppliers are already developing their retail business and already in competition, and obviously with much better prices than this couple had with their business. So it's the kind of thing that can help you identify those kinds of problems and prevent them before happening, or take plans. It helps you identify the red flags earlier.
Cool. So let me just ask you a couple questions. If I'm a business and I'm thinking about, I'm starting to think about either my own retirement and I want to pass it down to my family, or or you're more like me, like you're ways from retiring, but you're you want to start putting in some steps to lay the foundation for a business that you could eventually hand down to a family member. What are 3 or 4 kind of baby steps that people could take right now? Obviously calling you would probably be the best thing, but in the meantime, what are some things that you think that they can do, or you see that your people can do really easily to build momentum in that direction?
Well, one would certainly be to just write out your dream, write out your really. I was going to say vision, but really it's your dream. What do you dream about for this business? In that dream, is it something that you're building for your children, or is it the kind of a retirement that you would like to have with your family when you finally do sell the business? So it's really writing out that dream and as fully and completely as you can, and really feeling that dream and feeling the impact that it can have on your life. So that's the place that I would begin with it. And then the next step really is looking at what is it going to take to reach that point. And that's every business owner, I think, can begin to look at that. But that's also where I can help them think through that process, because there are things that are going to be absolutely critical that they're going to have to do to reach that endpoint. And it's identifying what are those things, and then how are they addressing them? Are the pieces in place in their business to actually meet those needs that they've identified? So they can go as far as they want in this process themselves, or we can do it together in collaboration, and we can go as deeply into their business as they'd like, or to do it as that initial first step that I described before, which looks at what are the critical success factors and how are you doing with them. So those are the steps I would say, but start with that dream. What is your dream?
Awesome. And you must, obviously you have, you're such a unique business that you have that, again, I mean, I've never heard of people really talking about it in this way. Do you have partners that you work with that you might be, maybe they're not the business, but they have the client who is the family business? Do you have people that you work with that you find to be, like I said, good partners that maybe they could call you up if they need your help?
Sure, absolutely. This is something that complements the work that excuse me, Jay. This is something that complements the work that other business consultants in particular, but also wealth managers, investment managers, banks, loan officers, etc., could complement their business with their clients, because it helps build that long-term value for the client. There are a couple of ways in which I can work with partners. One is if they have a client who's really passionate about their business, who really wants to look at that long term, then obviously that first 30-minute no-cost consultation can determine whether or not this really could help. And I can do that in conjunction with who that partner is. The other is that there are going to be parts of the business that are identified in this legacy affirmation review process that I don't have the specific expertise to really dive into the details. For example, if you've got a key employee in your business, when you get ready to transition that business or sell that business, you most likely won't want to lose that key employee. One way of doing that is something they call a golden handcuffs arrangement, which is something that really ties that employee to the business in a way that it creates value for both. I'm not an expert in golden handcuffs arrangement. If it means to perhaps transfer a portion of the business and a minority share of the business to that key employee or to several key employees. Again, I would work with business consultants who are experts in that area to put the details behind what we've identified as necessary for the business. So those are just a couple of ways of working with partners in this.
Awesome. Thank you. let's see. So, and obviously, I'm sure you have a website and everything. We're going to go on to the UR word of the day here, but people can get in touch with you through your website.
Yes, absolutely.
And what's your website?
Yourbusinesslegacy.net.
Okay, your business legacy. Okay, I'll get that posted on the in the notes down below. And if you're just joining us, again, I'm talking with Don Mccrae, who's an expert in business legacies, creating your business in such a way that it extends not just through your lifetime, but through the lifetime of your children or even hundreds of years. And as I always end these up with talking about the UR emails that we send out every day. And the word of today actually was respectful. And I think it's a great word. It's something that we could all do. We could respect ourselves more, respect other people more. And so, Don, for you, where in your life have you been respectful?
Well, a variety of places, Joey. One that immediately comes. Well, actually, let me give you just a quick sense of my sense of what it means to be respectful of someone. Respect to me comes from recognizing that deep inner person that's there. It's not it may be influenced by the outer behavior of the individual, who they are, what they do, etc. But it's really the deeper person and who they are, and recognizing that and acknowledging that in the respect that you give them. With that is in my I have a doctorate in executive management, but it's very applied doctorate. And I went to the Drucker School, Claremont Graduate University, and fortunate enough to have 5 or 6 classes with Peter Drucker, who's known as the father of modern management. And that respect for Professor Drucker has always been there because of the incredible wisdom of the individual and the influence that he has had on so many thousands of business people and businesses over literally decades and decades and decades. So that's the one that immediately jumps out at me. But the other side of that is that because of my view that respect comes from that deep inner person, I try to see that in everyone that I encounter, that I work with, no matter who they are.
Yes. Yeah, it's amazing how if you come from a foundation of something like that, it just helps. It helps you keep moving forward. So you kind of already tapped into this, but who in your life do you look at as respected or respectful, either way?
Well, certainly Peter Drucker. But I guess the other one that really jumps out at me are all of the small business owners that I encounter. They're putting their heart and their soul into their business, and they're doing it out. It's a labor of love. For most of them, it's a passion for them. It's something that they want for their families, for their significant others, and it's impossible not to have respect for someone who is willing to take that chance and that risk in their life, and yet have that vision, that dream that they want to reach. Yeah.
I mean, I always think that there's so many jobs out there, and there's so many people doing interesting things, like yourself, and just everybody you meet that's just so different. They're just so different. So you just have to admire that for sure.
Absolutely. And we're really blessed. I mean, I've worked with major global corporations, literally, in the US, Asia, and Europe as part of the executive education work that I did. Again, business consulting with an education focus. And yet my passion's always been with small business, because they're the ones that affect real people immediately and affect our communities and the vibrancy and health of our communities. And so that these small business owners, we're blessed to be able to work with small business owners because of what they contribute to all of us.
Yes. Awesome. So, and then lastly, if you were being respectful, what would be a few things that you could do today and something that's important to you?
Oh, well, it's a good question. It's part of how I interact with others, I think. And so it's just something that I believe I naturally do. And just my store clerk, or it's the business person I'm working with, or it's my work here as part of we both are part of this the Business Builders Club, and the kind of support we can give people there. So it's just kind of built into my interaction with everyone. So I expect that to continue today as well.
Well, hopefully it will come up and you can think about it. Remember this conversation. So I just want to thank you. That's about all I have. Is there anything else that you just want to end with? Just let people know about yourself, or anything that you think is important for people should take away.
Yeah, I could probably say a bunch of stuff, but I think what I really want to say, Joey, is I think what you're doing here with these interviews is phenomenal, and it gives us an opportunity, but it also, I think, really shows the regard that you have for the work that we all do. And so I thank you for that, and I encourage people to continue to come back and look at as many of these interviews as they can, because I think every one of them is going to have nuggets of truth in them for people.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, that's the part I love. I think everyone has, like you said, a nugget of wisdom, a nugget of something that they can share. And it's, this is part journey for me and part journey for sharing for everyone else. So Don, we'll make sure that we post you, we'll get all your information and we'll post it down underneath this in a second. And gosh, I got a call here. And we'll be in touch. But Don, you hold on for a second. I want to wrap this up with everyone else, and then I'll come right back to you, okay?
Thanks, Joey.
So everyone, thank you very much for watching this. If you have any questions, please like the post, like the thing, share this with people. We're doing this every day. We have another one lined up on Monday morning. That is going to be awesome. And if you have any questions, two things. If you want to get the word of the day, I will put that down here. I'm also doing trainings, free webinar trainings on my Funk to Flow program, and we're going to post those. Also post that down below. And that's it. So remember, it's all about taking the next step. And in this case, it's about, that creating that vision. I think that's so important. I invite you over the weekend or whenever you're watching this, what is the vision for your company? What is the vision for your life that you can pull forward? I'm hearing this over and over again from experts all over. That's about creating that vision. And then I say it's about taking those baby steps to implement that vision. So I want to thank you for watching this. Please join us again, and y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.